Most people let money control them, but a true money boss controls their money and their life. Hi, I'm Tracy from the Money Boss Show. I'm here to help you step into your personal power, make more money, build the life of your dreams. In today's episode, we're going to talk about stopping letting money control you and being the boss instead. And this video, more than any video I've done, is what a money boss is all about. So we'll dive into a little bit about my story, but most importantly, we're going to go over the 4 pillars of becoming a money boss that will give you clarity, control, confidence with your money so that you can control your money and not money control you. So let's dive in. I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, nobody taught me to create a budget. They didn't teach it at school in that time. I went to university, spent a lot of money. Of course, that's not the goal there. Nobody taught me to create a budget. And then on the university campus, they had a credit card station set up with free hats. And I'm like, wow, free hat. I like that hat. Got a credit card, and wow, I soon figured out that you can get whatever you want, whenever you want on a credit card. And that is how my journey started with becoming a money boss. And needless to say, like most of us do, we get in debt, figure out how to get out of it. You might do it again. And then hopefully, if you learn to be a money boss, the point of this episode and this channel, you figure out the steps to become the boss of your money. Because here's the thing, most good things in life aren't fun, easy, or sexy. And why I say that is most people are looking for a get rich scheme when really we need a budget and a plan to take control of our money. Not the point of this channel, but most people are looking to lose weight and they pop a pill while they're eating a Big Mac. This is not the Weight Loss Boss channel, but most people are not given the knowledge we need for the basic, essential, most important things in life. And however unsexy it is, the foundation of becoming a money boss is taking control of your money with mindset, with a decision, with budget and tools. Because here's the thing, there's always going to be something to spend money on. And if we're not controlling our money, obviously, our spending will start to control us. So that's a little bit about my story. And I finally got in debt, out of debt, in debt, and finally said, what? This doesn't make sense. And I sat down and I remember, I'll never forget, I was at one of those like pre-boxed desks I had in my second house I owned. I'm like, I'm going to figure this out on my big clunky computer, like the big square ones, probably like the first model I ever owned. And I'm not even that old. And I sat down with an Excel spreadsheet and just put in my income and then put in my expenses and printed this out and said, I'm going to do this because I was tired of it. And I just didn't want to be a slave to money and debt anymore because, as we know, if we have debt, that just hangs over us like a dark cloud. So I did it. I sat down and I created a budget. And guess what? I stuck to it and I failed. And I stuck to it and I failed. But here's the thing. When you make the decision and you decide that you're not going to be a victim, you're not waiting for somebody to save you, you're not going to play like, ooh, how's the credit card at $5,000? When you make a decision, that is the most powerful moment in your life. And the funny thing, I feel with this channel, I could easily be like, okay, let's do cryptocurrency or how to manifest. But the true magic in becoming a money boss is laying that foundation of being smart with your money. Money is black and white. It's one of the easiest things you can do. And once you have control of your income and your expenses, and you can start to save and you pay off debt, that is the very foundation of financial success. But most people are chasing like, I want to be rich while spending like a millionaire on a retail budget, right? It's just hard, and nobody teaches us this stuff. And sometimes we get in such a cycle that we don't even know where to turn. So today, that's what I want to talk about is making the decision to become a money boss. And it's funny, I could do way more popular episodes and probably have way better rating. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach you the most important thing: budgeting, being in charge of your money. Why? It's funny. I feel like I have to sell people on why it's important. And it's crazy because we all just want to stick our head in the sand and ignore it, and the problem gets bigger and bigger. But here's the thing: if you can control your money, that's the base of any financial success you want in life. Not only that, you have personal power. Yes, you can be powerful without money. But when you're stuck in debt and you have the black cloud of money debt hanging over you, you're on a treadmill of constantly spending and trying to make, it's eating up all your five most important resources. It leaves you distracted. It leaves you in survival mode. And if you have any dreams of doing big things, making good money, making an impact, launching a business, getting rich, it's okay to admit that here on the Money Boss Show. It is a worthy endeavor because the more money you have, the better you take care of yourself, your friends, family, community, the bigger difference you can make. It's a worthy cause, even though they don't want us to believe that. Here's the thing: if you can take care of yourself financially as a male or female, but I'll speak to women, you can take care of yourself come what may. And this conversation is not sexy, but one of my clients, he's a real estate agent, and in the signature of his email, he says, "Do what's right, come what may." And I love that because he was one of my very first clients, and he helped set the integrity and the tone for how I'm going to operate in my business. He was one of my very early mentors, and that tagline stuck with me. And I kind of took it and spun it for me and my journey. Money was important. I feel I am here to help people be financially powerful for the benefit of themselves and everybody. I took that sentence and it's really stuck with me: to take care of myself, come what may. And this is not a popular subject, but if we look at life, being able to take care of ourselves as a single person or in a couple is essential, and money is part of that. If you can't take care of yourself financially, you're relying on others or you're relying on debt. And here's another thing I don't like to say, but as a woman, being able to take care of yourself so that you know you're okay come what may. Whether that means you're going to be single for the rest of your life, whether that means that you start a family and have kids, whether that means that that family gets split up through divorce. I am a huge fan of being in charge of my financial destiny. It's hard taking control of your financial situation, but it is harder to live at the mercy of debt and stress and being controlled by money and somebody else. How many people have we seen controlled by their spouse because of money? Or they're in a relationship, and whether they stay home or work, all of a sudden the relationship splits up, and then now they are left scrambling, trying to figure out how to take care of themselves and their family. And I know that's doom and gloom, but you know what? In the world that we live in, let's say everything goes right, you need to be a boss just to make sure that you don't put yourself in debt, but also to make sure that you can have a strong relationship. Because we know if we're fighting about money in a relationship, how many people do that? We don't even realize that finances is the biggest cause of divorce out there. Most people that get divorced don't even realize that. But when you don't have enough, and then you're overspending, undersaving, and then you have a spouse, and then you have to have those dynamics on top, and then you're bickering about money, what does that do to a relationship? So to me, being a money boss is the foundation of being an adult. And it floors me. I know why they don't teach us this in school, because they want us consumers that are stuck in the earn, spend, struggle, stay on the hamster wheel cycle, right? So school doesn't teach us that. University doesn't teach us that. If we don't take it upon ourselves to do the not so fun work of budgeting and taking control of our finances, the younger, the better. Guess what? Your money controls you. And I don't like it because because it is just so much nicer being able to take care of yourself. As a female, as a person in this world, I have made sure that I could budget, save, have a skill set to earn enough money to take care of myself, come what may. And hey, I realize there's people that don't care about money, that just are not wired that way. But I assume if you're listening to this show, the Money Boss Show, you care about making money. And that is beautiful because it is one of the most powerful moves that you can make as an individual person. So, anyways, that's not even my episode. I just got into a little bit of a rant because I wanted to share my personal mission here. I don't like people being stuck because of finances, stuck in debt, stuck in a marriage they don't want, stuck in an abusive marriage. There's so many yucky things that happen because people don't have the confidence, the personal power, and the financial ability to take care of themselves. So, if you wonder why I do this channel, and you wonder why I don't talk about manifesting and all the popular things that would skyrocket my ratings through clickbait and fancy titles, it's because I'm on a mission to actually help people. And it's not that manifesting doesn't. That is the magic that we sprinkle on top of our money game once we are doing the mechanics, the mindset, and the physical money moves correctly. So that's my why behind this channel. I took a lot of time, studied a lot of stuff, made a lot of mistakes. I've been in business for 17 years. So on a personal money journey and a business money journey, learning about this. And I want to offer it to anybody out there that wants to be financially powerful so you can shortcut your journey with money and get straight to the good stuff so that you can be inspired or reassured that if you're here listening to the Money Boss Show and obsessed about making money or just in debt and thinking there needs to be a better way, that's okay. Everybody in this world's going to tell you to leisure your time away, buy this gadget. But if you have the sneaking suspicion that finances, taking control of your money is important, you're right in the right place and your mind's in the right spot. Okay? So let's dive in. The 4 pillars of becoming a money boss. Mastering your mindset. I've already rolled into that. If you've been with me for any amount of time, I break money down into 3 planes of existence. The metaphysical, so that'd be stuff that we can't see. The laws of the universe, law of attraction, all those laws. Then we have the second plane, which is mindset, and the third plane, which is physical actions when it comes to money mastery. So mastering your money mindset, I've talked about this a lot. We don't get out of life what we want. We get out of life what we are and what we believe and what we perceive. And I've talked about this a lot, and I don't want to go into it too much. Listen to previous episodes. We create our reality based on what's in our head, not what's happening in the world. Because if we created our reality based on what was going on in the world, we'd all have the same personal reality. There can be two people in the same family living dramatically different lives, two siblings. One could be poor, one could be rich. They're raised in the same family, in the same situation, probably same schooling. What's the difference? Well, there'll be mindset and skill set and physical action, of course. But in a family, as a person, you've been conditioned by your past, 0 to 7 years old, whoever raised you, the narrative you heard, the things you've seen has conditioned you to be who you are. So again, if you grew up in poverty, middle class, or wealth, you're going to think, feel, believe, act differently about money, the reality creation framework. So if you think and believe money's hard or that you're going to be poor, you're going to feel that way. If you feel that way, you're going to take those actions. You take those actions, you're going to get those results. So poor people act like poor people. Wealthy people think and believe, feel, act different, and they get different money results. So mastering your money mindset is knowing that life is an internal game. So you're creating in your reality, everything you see is based on the thoughts in your head. We don't realize that. We think we just show up and what's happening is happening. But the life you're creating around you is based on who you are. So if you get different thoughts and beliefs, you'll feel different, you'll act different, and you'll get different results. And the biggest thing here is knowing that money is a result of the value that you bring to the world. So whether that's your wage, that your hour, your time that you exchange for money, or if you have a business, your product or service that you sell. The more valuable you are and the harder you are to replace, or the more in demand your product is, if you're self-employed, the more money you're going to make. Money is really black and white. It's not like we think. We come to the world and we look at successful people and we're like, oh, they're other. They came from money. They're smarter. No, they just figure out this stuff that I'm sharing with you. That money is a science. It's a byproduct of showing up and delivering value. If you're a retail clerk, you deliver a skill set for an hourly wage. If you want to increase how much you get paid, you got to bring more value. It's not that you're not important, but there's more people that can fill retail admin positions. You want to make a lot of money in a job format, become one of the higher paid positions, sales, marketing. If you can drive revenue for a company, you're worth more, you get paid more. And then same goes with business. I've given this example, very similar conversation, previous episodes. Sarah Blakely from Spanx keeps all the junk in the trunk for women so that we look good in our dresses when we go out. She figured out how to create a product that every woman wants anytime they go out. That product is high demand, reasonable cost. She has scaled to millions and billions, whatever she is worth. There is your example. If you create a sticky note of vibrant colors for book nerds that like to read science fiction, that is very niche. And while you can definitely find your crowd in the world that you live in, that is going to be a smaller pool with less value. Do you see what I mean? Money is a byproduct of delivering value. Figure out how to deliver more value and be of more service to your clients or your employer, and that's how you get rewarded for money. So realize that money is not this big fictitious thing that you have to be born to rich people. Money is a mindset. Money is a skill. It is very black and white. So you need to shift from fear. Why are we in fear about money? Because we don't know how money is made. We haven't been taught. And we think what we are is all we're going to get. And it is, unless you change your thoughts and beliefs, your feelings, and your actions. When you realize this reality creation framework of making money, you now start to realize it's a science. So you go, thoughts and beliefs. Well, I think all I'm ever cut out to be is an admin assistant. But wait a minute, I really do like selling. What if I take a course on selling and start either a side hustle or try and get into the sales department? And then you do that, and then all of a sudden your reality creation framework jumps up because now you've taken a position that pays more, you make more, your standard of living raises up. Do you know what I mean? So, shifting from fear to empowerment and realizing that your life is a byproduct of your thoughts and beliefs, your feelings and your actions. So, that is scary and liberating when you hear that because you're like, wait a minute, if I can do everything in my power to get new thoughts and beliefs by upgrading my brain here, like an iPhone with the best knowledge, okay, I realize that my future's in my control. The fear starts to go away with action and knowledge and clarity because you get empowerment. You're like, wait a minute, if it's me against me and it's all on me, and the more I know and the better I can do, the better my results are, guess what? You start to replace stuck, fearful, doubting energy with action and empowerment. And in that state, it raises your vibration. You feel better. The world aligns better. Your boss feels it because you perform better. And then good things start to happen. So you need to shift from fear to empowerment. Stop letting money beliefs and sabotages run your life. However, your family performed, wherever you came from, shut that off. Yesterday doesn't count. You are a clean slate. You're wiping the iPhone, better known as your brain, and you're installing a new operating system that you are the boss. You are the CEO of your life. It's you against you. And the more you can increase your mindset, your knowledge, your skill, the better you will do. So shut the stories off. Shut all those one-liners that your parents said about money. Start to take control of your mindset. We're going to get into the physical money management right away. Take control of your finances, and that's how you become a money boss. But I'm bad with money, Tracy. Yeah, we all are because they didn't teach us purposely. So we're bad with money. So we're the best consumers, broke, paying interest, stuck on the rat race. You're not bad with money. Well, you might be at this moment because you haven't been taught how to be good with money, right? So instead of that is, wait a minute, I'm learning how to manage money. I can learn how. I am going to be a money boss. The quality of your thoughts and knowledge is what determines your life. You can quickly grab a book on finance, budgeting, and start to change your situation like that. Doesn't matter if you're sixth generation welfare, it's you. The problem why we repeat generational patterns, money patterns, is because we see what we grew up in. We hear what we grew up in. So the most dramatic example of that is if we grew up in welfare. We see it. That conditions are mine. And if that's all you ever see, that's all you ever think of as your potential. All you hear is struggle. We don't have money. Rich people are bad. If that's all you see, that's the only information that's being fed to your brain. So your brain really doesn't know anything else. So they're like, oh, yeah, okay, so I'm going to be seventh generation poverty. It's kind of like I used to give that example of two fish swimming in a fishbowl. And the one fish comes up to the other fish and says, water's nice today, right? And the other guy goes, water? So what I mean by that is the one goldfish doesn't, I don't know how this guy knows about water and the potential for anything else, but moral of the story is this guy says, water? What? So it's like our brains, we're like, rich? What? I've been poor. I eat ramen noodles every day. That's all I know. What do you mean I could be wealthy? That's what your brain does. Water, what? Rich, what? So know that. So if you're bad with money, replace that as you just haven't been taught the skill of money, just like you've been taught any other skill. you are going to say to yourself, I am learning to grow my money. I am learning to budget. I am learning to become wealthy. I am becoming a money boss, right? That's mastering your money mindset. Pillar number 2 is getting clear on your numbers. We don't, as humans, sit down and make it black and white with a budget. And if you don't know how much is coming in and how much is going out, you're going to end up in debt. So the number one money boss move, aside from mindset and knowing there's a different way to live, is budgeting. And I know it's so unsexy, but here's the thing. Everything good in life is unsexy. It's not the easy fix. I almost want to do a video called Find the Hard Button and press that. Not that we want to struggle, but everybody's looking for the easy button in life. Becoming a money boss is not chasing get rich quick, is not spending on whatever we want. It's doing a budget, knowing how much comes in and how much you spend. And then from that first picture, you go, oh, okay, so I have extra money, but where's it all going? And I have credit card debt. So you take your expenses, you can download a budget template online. I'm sure just grab one, but it's easy. Open Excel, put your income and put your expenses. Okay. And then at the end of that, you're going to see a number that's either negative or positive. And if there's a positive, put a new line and called savings or debt repayment. You want your budget to be zero at the end. You want to give every dollar you earn a job. So if you make more than your bills are, you need to take that extra, let's say $200 a month, and schedule that as savings or debt repayment so that now you have zero at the end of the month. Okay? Every dollar needs to be accounted for. And once you do the yucky work, the real work, pulling our head out of the sand, the number one boss move of getting a budget, it's yucky alongside opening up those credit card statements and realizing what is what. When you have a clear picture, it just takes the weight away. That black cloud, as yucky as it is, and you go, okay, here's where I'm at. I'm going to take all my extra money and pay that credit card down. And then after that, I'm going to take that $200 a month and start saving. You can start to create an action plan that's saying, how do you know where to get where you want to go if you don't know where you're at, type of thing, right? Your GPS, if you want to go to California, it needs a spot where you're at. Figure out where you're at, and then you can create plans. Okay? That is pillar number 2, getting clear on your numbers. And then using tools to track, like your budget. There's apps out there. I like to do it the good old-fashioned way. To be honest, I like to see everything. Just like if we don't have a budget, all our numbers are like floaty and we have no real concept of anything. I don't like apps. That's me. I'm a little bit older. The younger generation might work well, but I like seeing it on an Excel spreadsheet. I also take out my spending money every month because I want physical. Because if you're tapping, it's so easy to lose control. And I think the more you can see it and feel it, is the better you can control it. So those are my thoughts on knowing your numbers and tracking. Okay. Pillar number 3, create a wealth plan. Set money goals with purpose. And it's not just saving, saving's important, paying off debt, but it's also create a big goal that pulls you forward. And at first, that might be create a little savings so you have a little cushion. And then the second one's probably going to be pay off your debt. And then the third one, why? Why? Give yourself some money energy and money goals. Do you want to go on a trip with your friends, but you've never gone because you can't afford it? Or you go every year, but you put it on the credit card, sinking yourself. Maybe your goal is save a little, pay off debt, or to be able to save for a trip and buy it cash. I gave the example in, I think, the last episode. It doesn't take much to spend $10 a day on useless stuff. Add that by 30 days. Add that by 365 days. That is a trip. And you're like, $10 a day, Tracy? What? My goodness. I go to Starbucks and I think the Starbucks coffee I like is like $6. And I just do coffee. I don't even do a snack with it or a bottle of water. If I didn't work from home, I'd probably get a coffee every day. That'd be $7 a day. That's a lot of money. And I know the experts will say, don't cut your lattes. I say there's extreme ends. There's Dave Ramsey saying, like, geez, sell your newborn to be able to pay off your bills. He jokes about that. And then there's the other ones like, you don't cut your lattes. Both and both. You know what? Cut your lattes if you need to start saving and get out of debt because every penny counts. Don't sell your newborn or your oldest child either. None of your children. Oh, I like when Dave jokes about that. But you need to give yourself something to work towards, a push and a pull. So we might have the get out of debt as the urgency, or we might have the pull of a holiday. Or guess what? If you are bound and determined to start a side hustle, why not, if you're debt free and you have some savings, use your latte to put in an account to be able to have money to improve your knowledge or run ads on your business, etc., etc. So saving, paying off debt, giving yourself money goals that empower you. Pillar number 4, leading with confidence. As a money boss, you say, it's me. And you know, one of the biggest money boss moves I ever did in my life is taking radical responsibility. Because we always want to point fingers, our parents, our spouse, lack of knowledge, my personal situation, the government. But here is the thing. At the end of the day, that may have affected you up until this point, but truly, life and your success is you against you. Your ability to learn and feel and act and continue to motivate yourself. So you need to lead with the confidence. And I think having that moment where you go, oh crap, I did this. I created all this debt. It's yucky. It hits in the gut. You feel sick to your stomach. But when you go, it's me. It's not my parents. It's not my spouse. When you can reach that moment and look at everything in life and go, oh, it's my fault, even though maybe somebody else did something, you go, what's my part in this? Because taking radical responsibility is ownership, it's empowerment, but it also means when you acknowledge that everything is your responsibility, it means everything is in your power, which I think is one of the biggest boss moves in the world. And yes, we can split hairs and say, well, Tracy, this bad thing happened to me when I was younger. This is happening to me right now. And there's horrible stuff that happens to people in their past and currently. But the thing is, if we don't do that boss move of taking radical responsibility, nothing will change because it's in the ownership of where you're at, where you say, that happened. Now what? This situation is horrible. But what am I going to do about it? It's that boss energy. Even outside of the money conversation, it's that boss energy that will give you the yuck moment of realizing it's all your fault, which means it's all in your control, which gives you the confidence to show up as a boss. That was, I think, the moment in time that absolutely changed it for me when I looked at my job and I wasn't making enough. And I'm like, I need more skills. or I need to work extra, or I need to get a part-time job. When I looked at the credit card statement and said, oh, I did this. Any situation, we are creating it based on our thoughts and beliefs, feelings, actions, results in every part of our life. And I know this is unpopular, and I should quickly switch to talking about manifesting and quantum leaps. But this video here is the single most important. And I'm not patting myself on the back. Anybody that's taken control of their money situation, wealth, and done big things, or just been able to take care of themselves, have went through this and learned this and had these moments. Nobody is special. We all got to go through these steps. And while we want to make big money and do big things, it starts with building our financial foundation on concrete, not on sand. Because if we can learn how to make money, spend money, have control of our finances, then when we start to make more, we actually know how to handle that. I've given the example. Why do millionaires end up broke within a year and in worse situation than when they started? Because here's the thing. If they were terrible with money before they won the lottery, they're still terrible with money, and now they have a lot of money. So they're going to do the same silly things at a larger scale and end up in the same spot at a greater scale. If a person was smart with money before they won the lottery, they're the ones that are going to be wise. They're going to save, they're going to invest, they're going to make smart moves. They're not going to blow it all. Our money foundation and our wealth consciousness is the foundation of a boss life. It is being the leader of our life, being the money boss. And I think that's just one of the most important things. Going back to what I said before, I want to be able to take care of Tracy come what may, and those that I love. I think that's important. I don't want to be a victim of my life. I want to be the boss of my life. And if you're here, I'm sure you feel the same way. So the 4 pillars, really quick. I hope these have resonated. Master your money mindset. Get clear on your numbers. Create a plan. Lead with confidence. Step into boss energy. And guess what? You're going to make mistakes. The car's going to break down. You're going to go backwards. But it's a constant game of thinking and believing and feeling and acting better. And the thing is, it doesn't change quickly, and we need to keep at it. But if we do the proper steps in life and continue to do that, eventually our future is different than our current reality, because we change who we are right now, which automatically changes our future. But if you take no action and do the same things, you're going to be the same person in the same situation, probably worse financially, next year. But if you do it now, start taking control step by step, you are a money boss at greater and greater levels. So leading with confidence, pillar number 4. I'll call that becoming a money boss. Now, a takeaway. There's a lot of takeaways in this one, but I'll give you a couple. Thoughts and beliefs. What can you listen to? Binge my channel. Grab a great book, Think and Grow Rich, The Science of Getting Rich, Dave Ramsey's budgeting stuff. Grab some information to start to get new knowledge in your mind, and it'll level up your whole game. So that's the mindset. Start to feel differently about money. And that's by the story you tell yourself and the action you take, right? I'm not bad with money. I'm becoming better with money. I'm learning about money. I am a money boss, getting better every day. And then I'd say 3 is, if you don't budget, please budget. Please. I'm almost begging you. It is the single most important thing I've ever done in my life, was to create a budget. And then from there, I became a money boss at slow levels over many, many years. But it starts with the step of budgeting. Okay. So grab some books. Start to feel different. If you find yourself saying, I'm poor, it's never going to change that. I'm becoming a money boss. I'm becoming a money boss. I'm learning. I'm getting better with every day. I can do this. Hijack the narrative in your mind, put new knowledge in, and take money boss action. Get a budget. If you can, save. If you have debt, work on a plan to get rid of that. And step by step, month by month, year by year, decade by decade, I promise you, if you do these steps, you will have a better life. You'll have more personal power. You're going to make more money, save more money. You can start to invest. And then that's how you build a dream life. So those would be my actions. I was going to give you one, but we really have the multiple parts of money. And I think it's important to increase your mindset and your thoughts with wealth consciousness, books, YouTube videos, podcasts, audiobooks, creating a budget, and then taking continuous action, saving, paying off debt. Mindset, clarity, wealth plan, leadership. I really invite you to step into this because you can do this. If you don't believe in yourself, take the belief that I have in you that you can do it, because I know you can. If you can think, if you can learn a skill, if you can show up, if you can act, you can do this. Doesn't matter your past. It just matters this moment and the action you take today. So I'd love to know, what is one area of money that you're ready to boss up on? Mindset, physical, all of it. I would love for you to drop a comment if you want to. I know money's a personal thing. Say hi. Let me know if you enjoy these episodes or what you want to hear more about. I'd love to hear from you. There's so many people that watch this every week. I'm just curious, what's on your mind? What are you enjoying? What do you want to learn more of? And then I can help. I can create videos to that as well. So thank you for being here. If you haven't signed up to the moneybosscollective.co, our newsletter, I email once a week with new episodes, do that. I've actually recently heard that YouTube is cracking down on financial money-making channels. So if all of a sudden I am gone because they take my channel away, they've taken so many channels, years and years of people's work gone like that because we're talking about money. Sight. That's, what do the kids say? Sus. That's very sus, very suspicious. But sign up for the moneybosscollective.co, go to the community, join, put your email in. I don't spam you. Then you'll always get the notifications of new episodes that come out, and I can continue to deliver great information to help you be the money boss of your life, come what may. Thank you. See you next week. Bye-bye.